Nigeria advocates indigenous control of Africa's mineral wealth at the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly.
Not as fragmented states, but as one continental bloc, wielding collective power in global supply chains.
Federal government establishes rice lab to boost quality for local and international markets. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan regains access to National Assembly office after suspension. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Live from Abuja, I am Vivian Izadifi. President Bola Tinubu has called for a total reface in the global financial architecture of Africa's mineral resources, saying it was time for rich nations not only to finance its mineral sector, but also assert their influence and power in the African products' global supply chains. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the President made the call at the second African Minerals Strategic Group High-Level Roundtable on Critical Minerals Development in Africa, held on the margins of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
A meeting for the collective action to bring Africa's mineral economy to reality for the benefit of the continent, pledging Nigeria's commitment towards catalyzing a mineral-led renaissance under the Renewed Hope agenda to unlock Africa's mineral economic future.
We must take the bull by the horns in financing our future. Never again shall we wait for capital to trickle in. With sovereign funds, blended vehicles and innovation tools like the Africa Mineral Token, Africa shall finance Africa. To safeguard this sovereignty, we must get our cobalt, lithium, graphite, gold, and rare earth, not as fragmented states, but as one continental bloc, wielding collective power in global supply chains.
He commended Nigeria's Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, who chairs the event, and the Secretary General, Moses Michael of Uganda, for guiding Africa towards a path of productivity and pride.
There are many opportunities for increased cooperation between the EU and Africa, especially as we engage with our private sector to bring sustainable investments on the ground.
There is a sense of insecurity in our world where countries are rearming. What will fuel? What are the components needed for this production? They are the minerals that Africa has. The strategic nature of this mineral is so explosive in terms of what the world needs that Africa needs to be careful in terms of how it positions to make the most of these resources for its people.
Dele Alake called for cohesion amongst African nations, saying with determined and focused partnership in the mineral sector, Africa will harness in all ramifications the total benefit of a sustained and harmonized mineral sector. Meanwhile, Vice President Kashim Shettima also held a roundtable hosted by the Business Council for International Understanding in partnership with the Flour Mills of Nigeria and other conglomerates, urging investors to come to Nigeria as there had never been a time like now to invest, given the enabling environment and the ease of doing business. Similarly, on the side events of the UNGA 80th session, Vice President Kashim Shettima held a bilateral meeting with the Chancellor of the Republic of Austria, Christian Stocker, at the UN headquarters in New York, where both countries agreed to forge new ties and explore new ways of deepening their relationships. From New York, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Nigeria's nutrition responsive budgeting, financing and accountability has been described as a model that is commendable with great potential that can be easily replicated by other countries. This came to the fore during the technical session of Senegal Exchange visit to share Nigeria's nutritious responsive budgeting. Ibrahim Belogunda has more.
The technical section took a dive into Nigeria's nutrition responsive budget system with presentation on nutrition responsive public financial management system framework, mandate and budget tagging. Others are the national nutrition budget tagging process, role of budget office support in tagging implementation, role of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation through tagging implementation, tracking and accountability, among others.
We've been able to create a system of transparency, accountability in the funding, in the available fund, and on how we utilize the fund.
We have showed them how we tag our budgets, the acronyms we use, and the importance. The whole importance is to make the nutrition budget visible so that it can be easily tracked.
We think that all the processes we have seen here will be implemented when we will be back in Senegal. But because everything is organized, even in Ministry of Budget and other services, things are very clear for us.
The Senegalese delegation were also at the Budget Office of the Federation and Office of the Accountant General of the Federation to get first-hand information of its activities. In Abuja, Ibrahim Belogunda, NTA News.
And to the stable of justice is now the legal system of any nation determines its diplomatic ties, and the inflow of foreign direct investment are curable to such country. It is in the light of this that the federal government under the present administration is overhauling the justice sector for efficiency and enhanced public confidence in the judiciary. Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk reports that stakeholders in the justice sector are putting finishing touches to the final draft of Administration of Criminal Justice Amendment Bill.
The Subsisting Administration of Criminal Justice Act was enacted 10 years ago. AJA 2015 brought about several innovations to the Nigerian criminal justice system, including speedy trials, restorative justice, electronic recording of confessional statements, as well as improved measures to prevent unlawful arrest and protect the rights of suspects. Other key innovations include the use of plea bargaining, suspended sentences, community service, compensation for victims, and a central criminal record registry for better record keeping. With the proposed amendment to AJA, Nigeria is building a criminal justice system that is fast, fair, efficient, effective, and responsive. The review of AJA 2015 is a vital step towards fulfilling that commitment.
This gathering marks a significant milestone in our collective effort to reform and strengthen Nigeria's criminal justice system. The Federal High Court has a unique role to play.
The review of the AJA therefore presents an opportunity not only to reflect on successes, but also to refine provisions, reappraise, address shortcomings, and deliver a justice system that is truly responsive to the realities of our time.
It is the consensus of stakeholders in the justice sector that will move forward in the country's determination to achieve better service delivery in administration of justice. There is the need to leverage on technology and foster collaboration. Stakeholders equally agree that these are catalysts to enhancing access to justice and promoting the rule of law.
There is institutionalization of mandatory pre-trial case management. This is one of the biggest shortcomings of our criminal justice system. This law seeks to make pre-trial case management mandatory.
The Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 stands as a landmark legislation harmonizing criminal procedure laws and ensuring more efficient, fair, and humane justice delivery.
The gathering, which is a stock-taking one, is brainstorming on persistent delays in trials, which continue to undermine justice delivery, and the need for enhanced access to justice through digital platforms. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, representing Kogi Central, has gained access to her office after 6 months of suspension. For the first time, the senator gained access to the National Assembly after the suspension, following the unsealing of her office in the early hours of this Tuesday by the Deputy Director of Sergeant-at-Arms at the National Assembly, Alabi Adedeji. Senator Natasha says she is happy to return to her office to carry out her legitimate duty as senator representing Kogi Central. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed reports that there is no any official statement from the leadership of the National Assembly on the position of the suspension and her return to legislative duties, which is still a matter of court litigations. Political analysts are advising the National Assembly to focus on 3 key areas upon resumption after recess: electoral reforms, 2026 budget, constitutional review. Discussing the National Assembly resumption on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, the experts asked the National Assembly to be more transparent and accountable in their legislative duties and oversight functions. Ekemini Williams has details.
The National Assembly has postponed its resumption of plenary session by 2 weeks, from September 23 to October 7, 2025. This decision has sparked concerns among political analysts who argue that the extended recess could delay critical legislative business, pending motions and necessary actions in response to recent national developments. The postponement is expected to add to the workload of lawmakers when they resume, with key issues such as constitution reviews, preparation for 2026 budget, and electoral reforms taking center stage.
The matters of urgent public importance in the various constituencies, members will want to bring them to the floor. And then 3, the matters of national importance, not just limited to your constituency now, members will bring them up.
When your constituents are asking that you are going for a very long recess and they don't have explanation to provide, it means that because you are going for recess on their own behalf, so they don't see reason why you should go on recess if they don't understand the reason why you're going on recess. And I think representation is not just about people to sit down and watch what happens, what unfolds, and give themselves explanation.
Political analysts and civil rights experts believe that citizens are more interested in seeing tangible results from their lawmakers, particularly in areas such as effective oversight of social investment programs. Upon the National Assembly's resumption, these experts suggest that lawmakers should prioritize key issues, with electoral reforms being top priority.
We would like to collaborate. We would like to be able to take some of these good things that are happening, but if we also see things that are not working well, we should be able to look them in the eyes and say this is not working well, and the Nigerian people are not happy about this.
There is a need for the Senate to respect the ruling of a court and allow the senator that was suspended for a long time to return to the Senate. It's an allegation that is under prop, and I don't think if the president of the Senate is a Senate. He's just first among equals. And it's a mockery on Nigeria's democracy, it's a mockery on the Nigerian Senate. And I think all well-meaning Nigerians should take to the Senate so that, Senator Natasha is called back immediately. It's a national embarrassment.
The guest noted that the call for tangible results underscores the importance of effective communication, citizens' engagement, and concrete deliverables in building trust between citizens and their elected representatives. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Still to come, Nigeria's First Lady raises 20.5 billion naira for National Library project. These and more when we return.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
Nigeria at 65, a continental giant takes another step forward, navigating the contradiction fueled by a colorful and resourcefully diverse populace, yet questions linger on the destination of state, propelled by the vagaries of nationhood. What is your contribution to this journey? Join the NTA and an eclectic mix of everything Nigerian, from the academic deans to the street kings, who will lend their voices on the platform that has always been a part of the journey. The NTA on October 1st, 2025.
This is NTA News 24.
Welcome back. Inspector General of Police Kayode Ebitokun has issued a warning to officers against misuse of police authority, particularly in land disputes. Francis Form reports that the IGP gave the directive at the Strategic Managers Conference in Abuja. He emphasized that the Nigerian police force will not and must never serve as an enforcer of private interests.
Officers have no business escorting parties for land recovery, disrupting legally existing occupations, or meddling in civil claims without a demonstrable criminal element. Every such incident erodes the neutrality of the force and opens us up to disrepute. The line must be clear, and any officer who crosses it will face disciplinary consequences. The credibility of this institution rests not only on our crime-fighting capacity, but also on the ethical culture we enforce from the top. Leadership by title is easy, but leadership by example is the standard we must uphold. I do not expect perfection, but I insist on responsibility. Commissioners of police and assistant inspectors general must not become distant administrators. You must be present, engaged, and firm in correcting excesses.
The IGP advised officers to concentrate on major internal security issues as the force records high-impact interventions recently, including coordinated rescues, recovery of weapons, and targeted arrests. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has so far raised a sum of 20.5 billion naira for the completion of the National Library under the Oluremi at 65 Education Trust Fund. She announced the amount during a luncheon with the media at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa.
Is going to go again. So we have 20,456,188,924.93 kobo, and it's still growing. Trust me, it is still growing. This is what we can do as a nation.
She said the fund was raised through the contributions of notable Nigerians who answered her rallying call to generate funds towards the completion of the national monument using her 65th birthday celebration. While thanking those who donated towards the cause, the First Lady says her motivation for undertaking to raise the fund is not political, but towards helping to build the country piece by piece.
Before long, things will begin to shape up for our beloved nation. We all have to rise up, play our parts in the building process. A grain of sand and a little drop of water makes a mighty ocean.
With Nigeria still heavily dependent on oil revenue, workers in the oil and gas industry are urging the government to retain its stakes in joint ventures between the Nigerian National Petroleum Company and international oil firms. They say this is crucial to sustaining the country's major source of earnings. Joseph Osei reports that the workers made their position known at a press conference in Abuja while reviewing issues around the proposed amendment of the Petroleum Industry Act.
These are members of Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, and the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSN, unions that represent the backbone of Nigeria's crude oil exploration and production, the country's major source of earnings. But they are worried. Some stakeholders are proposing that government should cut down its stake in joint venture operations and reinvest elsewhere.
If these assets were sold, where would our country, Nigeria, be able to generate tax from and get dividend from to be able to manage our budget? It has a way of making NNPC become bankrupt in the next few years down the line. Because there are obligations that they must meet. There are obligations that, and the chief of this obligation is payment of staff salary and the welfare of our members.
Come to talk of PIA. When did the PIA even came to be? The investors are coming to even understand the PIA and how they can also invest. When laws are not consistent, when they are not allowed to play out, then it creates a lot of doubts. It's too early for any amendment.
The unions insist that at a time when crude oil production is picking up, the focus should be on boosting output from current 1.7 million barrels per day to about 3 million in the next 2 to 3 years. In Abuja, Joseph Osei, NTA News.
Kogi State Government has embarked on inspection of projects in Kogi West Senatorial District, reaffirming its commitment to timely completion of all projects across the state. Ajibola Christopher reports that the State Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Fanwo, and that of Ministry of Works, Mohammed Yusuf, led journalists round ongoing projects.
The team first visited Mopamuro local government area to inspect a 10-kilometer road including culvert and drainages in Ileteju, linking other communities. They emphasized the administration's determination to improve road networks in the state to ease transportation of goods and services.
We have laid an asphalt that covers a distance of 4 kilometers out of this 10 kilometers. I'm assuring you that all the earth moving or earth walking has been done.
People are now feeling the impact of good governance.
Had it made this road and this bridge was not constructed before now, this house might have been gone by now.
Mopa community had never witnessed such a development.
At the Ileteju Primary Health Care Center, the Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Fanwo, says,
if you come here with malaria before, you may live with typhoid. But now, it is a situation where they have improved the infrastructure.
Before, our health facility was dilapidated, the roof was leaking, everywhere dirty.
In Kababunu local government area, the team inspect the completed Akrisal Gully Erosion Control Project.
Before now, during rainy season, there is no year that the flood will not affect our people.
It also inspected Kogi State University project, where the Vice Chancellor of the institution commends Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo for prioritizing educational development geared towards improving academic excellence in the state.
With the kind of commitment we are seeing from government, we are excited because of the truth. You have a government that is showing
true commitment and devotion to the university.
The tour is to highlight the achievements of the present administration under the leadership of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo in transforming infrastructural development and the livelihood of the citizens. Ajibola Christopher, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Here is a recap of our top stories. Nigeria advocates indigenous control of Africa's mineral wealth at the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly.
Not as fragmented states, but as one continental bloc, wielding collective power in global supply chains.
Federal government establishes Rice Lab to boost quality for local and international markets. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan regains access to National Assembly office after suspension.
This is NTA News 24.
And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Vivian Ezadifi. Bye for now.